So fine, let's start. Let's learn about this primitive data types and the reference data types. So we'll try to learn about the difference between those two. We know the different type of data types. We have learned it. So the data types what we have learned is the major ones: number, string, boolean, something like this, and comes the objects. So these are some of the main things. So we have learned other things also like undefined. So these all things also we have learned it. So the major things which we have learned is the number, string, boolean, objects. These are all things we have seen, and function also we have seen. Function also comes under the objects only. Object is the main one. Okay. So now in JavaScript actually we have two different types. The data types comes under two different categories. One is a primitive and another one is reference, or otherwise you can also say it as non-primitive or reference. So whatever the name we can call it as. So first one comes under the primitive and the second one comes under the reference. The primitive data types are nothing but number, string, boolean. These all things comes under the primitive data types. We'll try to see. So why these comes under the primitive and non-primitive. Reference data types comes these are objects. Okay. So why these number, string, boolean, these things comes under the primitive, and why this object comes under the reference data types, we'll try to see. So here if I try to take an example, let's go on to this one, and I will be opening any JavaScript online editor. If I open this one, let's go to the JavaScript and console. So first we'll try to see about the number. So I have a number where a is equal to 1. Okay. If I try to do the console.log of a, okay, if I try to do the console.log of a, if I run it, I'm able to get the output. Fine. This is expected output only. I will create another new variable and I will assign the value into this one. So I'm assigning the a value into the b. Now if I try to see console.log of b, okay, now what will be the output of this b? So b will be obviously that one also will be 1 only. Why? Because a value is 1 and we are storing that a value into that b. So a value is 1 means automatically b also will be having 1. So we are able to see the output. So this is a pretty straightforward. So in any programming language or anything we can see this one out. Now what I will try to do, I will change a to 10. So after assigning this one, I have changed a to 10. So now the expected thing, a should be 10 and b should be 1 only. Why? Because we have assigned the a value to the b when a is 1. Then afterwards we have updated that a to 10. So b is having the value which was previous a value is having. So now the expected value should be a is 1, it should be, and b is 10. B is 1, it should be, a is 10, it should be. So now let's try to see the output. If I try to see the output, we are able to get the same output. Okay, so which we have discussed. So first it will try to say a is equal to 1, then afterwards it has assigned b is equal to a. So that means at the time a is 1 is there, so it has assigned into the b. So fine. So b is also having 1. Then afterwards I have updated to the a to the 10. I am not updating the b, I am updating a to the 10. So that way a is 10 and b is still 1. Why? Because when a is 1, b is also is assigned. This is the basic behavior. This is called as an primitive behavior. Okay, so primitive behavior means nothing but a primitive. So this all comes under number, string, boolean, whatever the variable, whatever the data you take it. So those all data will behave in the same way only. So for example, if you are having here Leela and I have assigned it to this one and I assigned it to hello world means, so now a will be hello world and b will be Leela only. So that is the expected behavior. So now when it comes to the reference data types, what will happen? Let's try to see. Reference data types means I am taking the same thing, a value 1, 2, 3. So I am assigning the 1, 2, 3 value. Okay, this time this is an array. Array means nothing but its data type is an object only. So if I try to see the output, console.log of a. Now let's try to see the output. We are able to see this 1 2 3. So 1 2 3 we are able to see the output. Fine. And if you want to see the type of also, if you want, you can also see it, that is an object. Now what I will try to do, the same behavior I will try to expect. I will try to do it. I am creating a new variable. I am assigning the value into this one. So fine. Let's try to see what is the b value also. So the b value is stays same. So 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. Now what I will try to do, a dot push off. I am pushing the value. Okay, I am pushing the value. So that means I am pushing some value, or otherwise I will try to do a of 0 1 2, right? 3 is equal to 10 or something like that. I am trying to push. So that means 1 2 3 comma 10 it will be having. But b is something like we have assigned when it was 1 2 3 only. So that means b should have the values 1 2 3 and a should have the values 1 2 3 and 10. So now if you try to see the output, both are having 1 2 3 and 10. So a is also having 1 2 3 and 10, and b is also having 1 2 3 and 10 only. 10 I haven't assigned it to the b value. I am only updating the a variable. I am not updating the b variable. Whereas previously what it has done, so it has the output has came as expected for the primitive. But whereas when considered to the reference data types, I have updated the value to the a, and b is equal to a. So we are updating that one when the a is equal to 1 2 3. So now b is having 1 2 3. After some time I am updating the a variable, not the b variable. So b should be 1 2 3 only. So when updating the a variable is updated to 1 2 3 comma 10. Fine, it's fine, expected. But b is also got updated. So that means if I remove something, a dot pop, if I remove something from the a value, now b value, the output, the value also is removed. So that means a and b are something like they are behaving as the same thing. Whatever the thing I do it for the b, it is also happening for the a also. So both are related to each other. So these are called as an reference data types. So why this is happening like this? So let's try to see. So I will open the paint. I will try to explain you how it will be happening in the JavaScript. So what we have did, so let's say that this is a memory location. Okay, so in the JavaScript browser memory, so this is a memory location. Now what we have did, a is equal to 5 we have declared. So when I have declared a is equal to 5, a memory location will be created with a, and the value of 5 will be stored here. So whenever I ask a, so the data what is present inside this memory location, we are able to get it. Now what I have did, b is equal to a. I made it as b is equal to a. Now another memory location will be created, and this one is assigned as b, and a is having a value of 5, and here the 5 value will be stored in this one. Whenever I ask for console.log b means this value will be displayed. Now what I have did, a is equal to 10 I have updated. A is equal to 10 when I have updated here. So this one will be removed and 10 will be updated. Whereas b will have only the 5. Okay. Now when I ask for the a value, it will give you the 10. Whereas if I ask for the b value, it will still give you the 5 only. So that means both are independent to each other. So this is how the primitive data types data will be stored in the browser. So now let's consider about the reference data types. How the reference data types data will be stored. So now let's consider the reference data types. What we are having in the same scenario where a is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. We are having this one as an array. Let's go to the memory location. Let's go to the memory location. And this time what it will be having is, so this value, this data will be stored here 1 2 3 as an array, and this one will be having a memory location, something like 0x1 or something like this. You will be having a memory location, and this pointer, okay, this pointer will be stored in another memory location with a. Okay, so it will be having 0x1 like this. So this is the memory location it will be having. In the same scenario, what I will try to do, I will try to do where b is equal to a. Okay, now when I try to give the where b is equal to a, so now this a value is having the memory location pointer number. Okay, the pointer reference it is having. It is not having this value. So again a b value will be created, Okay, and this 0x1 will be copied here. So now this 0x1 refers to this cell, to this data, and this b also refers to this data only. So this data will be in separate another location. So now I changed in such a way that a dot push of something like 10. I have pushed it. I have pushed some value. So that means I have pushed it here, comma 10. So I have pushed it to comma 10. Now, when I ask to print the a value, means it will go to this memory location and it will give you all the details of this one, 1, 2, 3, 10. When I ask for b value to get the b value, means it will also still go to the same memory location and will give, and then also it will give you 1, 2, 3, comma 10. Okay, so this is how actually the reference data types will behave. So why this one will behave like this means, I already told you, right? These are complex data, not complex data. So somewhat complex data compared to the primitive data, which stores only the single values, like either 1 or 2 or 3, or either text of data or true or false. So these are single value data, whereas this one is a combination of data. So that means you cannot have 1, 2, comma 3. So you can have 1, comma 2, comma 3 up to 1000 also you can have it. Okay. So this is a huge data. This requires so much of memory. Now if I, for example, let's say that, so now if I say that this is a memory location and a is having an array of 1, comma 2 up to 1000, it is having the values. Now this will take something around 2 KB or 10 KB of file size it will take. Why? Because depend on the data how much it is having. Now for a, if I try to save this all the data from 1 to 1000, and if I try to copy this one, b is equal to a, means then again b from 1 to 1000 I need to save it here. So we know that JavaScript executes in the browser. Browser has only the limited memory. So your browser will have only the limited memory. Now if you go on copy with 50 or 20 or 30 variables the same data, so the same data it will try to copy in all the things, so which will have a memory leakage issue. So that means same type of data we are trying to save it in a different ways. If you try to use it in a primitive data structure manner, those are single value, either 5 or 10 or 1000, only single value we will be saving. So that takes less memory space rather than compared to this array or object. Object has so much of data, whereas array also has so much of data. If we save these copies like this, going on copies like this results to a memory leakage issue. So because of that reason, so what the JavaScript has did is, instead of saving that one in the memory location, so they will save that copy in one memory location, so that it will take 10 KB of space or something like that, and this pointer reference will be stored in the a, so 0x1, or otherwise in b, so the same 0x1. So whatever the variables you want to create it, you want to copy it, you can copy, but all will refer to the same memory location here, 0, 1, 1000 it will be there. So whenever any changes occurs in this one, automatically these all changes will be reflected in all the variables. So this is called as an reference data types. So that is the main reason. Main reason why this reference data types is because of this memory issue only. To solve the memory leakage issue, so JavaScript adopts this nature, reference data types. So objects and arrays will be having the complex data structure while we going on the JavaScript. So because of that reason, it follows the reference thing. Whereas primitive is a normal thing only. So it will be having single value database, single value data and all those things. So it can directly use this one. So this is the one thing which you need to remember while we are dealing with an array or objects. So when I have given this one a 1, 2, 3, for some reason you want to copy, for example, some situations will come. For example, let's say that you have created an array and you want to do the manipulations on this array. So what you want to do, so you will keep a copy, you want to have a original copy, so you will store it in this one and you will do some manipulations. So I will try to do a of push of 10 or something like this, we'll try to do it, and you want to get back the original copy means which was there, so that is nothing but 1, 2, 3. And now if you want to get back the original copy, you will not get back it. If you try to do the console.log p also, so nowhere you will find this copy. So 1, 2, 3 you cannot get it. So this is called as a reference data types. So this type of issues we will be raising in real-time project. So when you want this old data back means, so you cannot get back if you work on this like this. So there are other processes, we'll try to discuss it, how we can retain this back. We'll try to discuss that one. So this is about the primitive and the reference data types.